It's building time. Welcome back, guys. You guys didn't miss me yesterday, did you? Felt like everybody was like, oh, where'd Ben go? Why didn't he stream? He said he was going to stream. No way I'm here from the jump. Robert, we already built it. Look, it's completed. No, I'm just kidding. This is actually, we're doing an upgrade tonight. We're not actually doing a full build. We're doing an upgrade tonight for a customer that brought in their PC and is looking for an upgrade. So we got some parts for them. We can kind of review what's here. We also have a little bit of a surprise. Hey, Camshaft! Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Build Show. And Robert, welcome back to the Build Show. Jar of Dirt, welcome back to the Build Show. Boobs Guy, over on Twitch. Welcome back to the Build Show. I know you're not alone over there. There should be a few more jumping in. But here we are. We're here today because of a local customer that had me build this PC. I want to say a couple of years ago now. It's been running for a while. It might have even been longer than a couple of years now. Maybe 3 years. I actually could go look up the invoice and see exactly when they purchased this, but I know for sure it's been a while. So my recommendation for the upgrade, because they were asking about, hey, can I do an upgrade with the CPU? And, you know, the first thought for this platform, which was AM4, was the AMD Ryzen 7 3700X 3D, which would have given him the best bang for his buck on this platform right now. And then I recalled which motherboard we used because we were on a very tight budget when we built this. I think overall when we built this, we spent like around $400. And at that time, that was when the A320 was a thing. And if you guys don't remember the A320 was the cheapest AM4 motherboard you could buy. And that was where we were at with the system for the budget. This graphics card was an upgrade that he added later. I think we also added an upgraded power supply, and we added upgraded storage at some point, and an upgraded cooler. I can't remember if we did that or not. But we are going to take him over to a new motherboard, a new CPU, a new cooler, and a new kit of RAM. Bump him up to 32 gigs. So we've got the Ryzen 7 5700X 3D on a B550 by MSI, B550M, and then a Peerless Assassin 120 SE addressable RGB. Now, that is what they paid for. Because they've been a long-time customer, this case is a problem, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a little dirty. It probably needs a good clean. But I'm going to upgrade him from this case to a Montech Air 100, which is slightly bigger and can house some better hardware in here. And we'll also have more airflow along with 3 intake fans on the front, 1 in the rear. So it's going to look a lot better when we're done with it. And that I'm throwing in because he's been a long-time customer, and he's actually my customer's son who worked to make this purchase. So I'm going to upgrade his case as well, and we might add some other things in there to give it a nice flair, depending on what you guys think we should put in there. But, you know, we're going to keep it reasonable, right? That's awesome, bro. Hey, thanks. Thank you. I like customers. I love customers because that's what keeps me going. It's what gives me content to keep coming back. Are that a hard drive cage? Yeah, this is a hard drive cage. This is a deep cool case. It was I can't remember the model of this case off the top of my head, but I used it a couple of times in some really tight budget scenarios where I didn't want to put more than $40 into a case on the budget because I wanted the rest of the budget to go towards performance. So that is why we ended up with this case during that time. And this was also, I think, 3, maybe even 4 years ago. It was a while ago when I built this. But it's been running good for them, very well. He's just at a point where he needs more performance out of the CPU. And I was like, we could put a better CPU on that board, the A320, but I think the VRMs are going to limit us. So I recommended just getting another motherboard at that point. And it'll give him better future upgrades as well, meaning he can add an M.2 SSD now, versus this board he couldn't. So he's got SATA SSDs right now. I really appreciate all the help you've given me. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Some giant idiot. You don't see many cases with exposed hard drive cases anymore. I know. This is probably one of the last that I've built in with an exposed hard drive cage like this. I did not, I don't think I built into one since, unless somebody brought me a specific case. But yeah, this is Deepcool's super budget case back in the day. You know, which it wasn't a bad case. It's still a great case. Had mostly mesh on the front here at the bottom. It also offered a 5 and a, or what is this? You can put a DVD drive. I can't remember the size off the top of my head. It's just like 5 1/4, I think it is. Drive in the top here. So if you wanted to put a DVD drive in here, you could, or a Blu-ray player, you could. It was kind of during that time when we were transitioning away from those things and into more of the modern cases that we have now. So it was a weird time for the cases. Hey, what's up, Lethal Wick? Welcome to the build show, sir. Hello, I upgraded the same kit of RAM you're using. G.Skill, it booted straight to Windows with XMP automatically activated. As long as it was the same speed as the previous kit that you had in there, it probably would have stayed activated, yes. Is this normal? Because normally it goes to BIOS and I had to manually enable XMP. So if you had it enabled previously and you're replacing your RAM with the same speed, typically or sometimes XMP profile will just stay enabled. But also, if you have XMP profile enabled, generally you want to go into the BIOS and disable it when you put a new kit in, just to make sure it's redoing the RAM training. But you're probably fine. You got lucky, and no problems were had. And you know, G.Skill on DDR4, it's so stable now. It's unlikely you're going to run into a problem. Is that tempered glass? Yes. Camshaft, this was a tempered glass panel that I just removed. So, again, it was during that time where cases were transitioning. They were playing with different styles and things, so. But anyway, this is the build that I built several years ago, and we're going to upgrade for this customer. We're also going to upgrade his case. This is something I'm doing for him. He didn't pay for the case. I'm throwing that in there because it's time to upgrade the case. And I know he worked hard for his money to purchase these parts and have me do the job, so I want to make sure that he is 100% plus satisfied. And he's been a long-time customer, so you got to take care of your customers. I'm a big believer in that. And a case is what, like, this one's I think $70 right now, the Montech Air 100, which is what we're going to put them in. Much better case. I'm going to get rid of that panel and that glass panel. I mean, look at my cabling job back then. Because remember, there is zero space on the back here. So you can't really do much cable management here. I even was able to run the cable behind the motherboard to get the EPS cable in there so that it wasn't ran all funky on the other side. I did a pretty good job with what I had. Deep cool illegal, I know. This thing's probably worth money in the United States now, right? The Relic. Can't find it anymore. You can't even buy it new. So, it's illegal. So we'll go ahead and tear this down. Get all the parts that we need out of it. Really all we need is the graphics card, the power supply, the storage, and the rest of it can pretty much stay in here. The RAM, motherboard, because we're not going to be taking any of that out and putting it in the new case. We're going to be using the new case and the new parts that we have here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's tackle that, guys. And then we'll get the new case out. Start the motherboard. Fun stuff, guys. Fun stuff. That cabling, I know. It's like old school cabling, man. I had no room on the back of this thing. It was tough. Remembered this build. I remember doing it back when I did it. And that was a long time ago. And it's kind of weird that I can remember this stuff, but half the time I can't remember my anniversary. Don't tell Mrs. Empower that, by the way. I didn't see anything. Neither did I. But this was an upgrade that he did, I think, last year around Christmas time, if I remember correctly, which was a RTX 3060 12 gig by Asus. A great card. And he upgraded from an RX 550 4 gigabyte, I believe that's what he had in here, or it was like an RX 570, one of the two. It was either a 560, 570, or a 550. I don't remember which one it was. But it was great. Great start back in the day. Now, I'd say not as good of a start. The hardware didn't age well, unfortunately, with today's applications and things. I gotta get the longer screwdriver out to get this. So I actually have to unscrew the motherboard and kind of lean it out so I can pull the UPS cable through. It's a tight fit. Come on. I mean, when was the last time anybody here has seen a A320 motherboard? AMD, well, it's a gigabyte, but AM4 320 motherboard. Oh, this does have an M.2 slot. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Most of the A320s did not have an M.2 slot, so this must have been like a second or third version of it. Gotta get in there and get that EPS out. Alright, let's see if I could wedge my hands in here and get this cable out from behind the board. With those 4 screws out, should be enough. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. There we go. We got it. We got the EPS cable out. Alright, so now I'm just going to put those screws back in real quick. I don't know if he's planning on selling the rest of his PC or what. Gosh darn it. The screwdriver sucks. I've been using this LPT store screwdriver so much that this other screwdriver kind of sucks now. I've been spoiled. Yeah, true. My former RAM was XPG. DDR4, 16 gigabytes, 8.2, CL16, 3200. Same timing. That's why it's straight booted. Probably why, yeah. I mean, it should be fine. With DDR4, it's less of a problem. With DDR5, you might have had a problem with it. It probably would have gone through some as long as the new RAM that you're putting in is XMP compatible, just like your old RAM, then it should be fine. I would not worry about it, dude. Probably in good hands there. Building is addictive, I know. Can't get the screw in because the case is in the way. I'm gonna screw that. I'll deal with it. Yeah, we don't need the Wi-Fi card either because, well, this has got built-in Wi-Fi too. So that'll all stay in there. Nice. Alright, so next we have to undo the SATA storage here. These all unplugged. What do I have? 3. Do we have another SSD in here that I'm not aware of? 3 SATA. Don't remember that. You see 3 black SUVs out front of your house. They're looking for the deep cool case. No, they don't apply to the big... Yeah, doesn't apply to the big corpse like... Yeah, I'm not that big, am I? Well, this was already purchased, paid for, and the transaction was complete well before this case. Anyway, well before any of that happened. So it was already in the U.S. and already owned by a customer. But yes, you're right. If you get caught with deep cool, apparently you get into some big trouble nowadays. Alright, so we've got all that undone. This is actually an old-fashioned pub for some RGB fans back in the day, like the cheap stuff. We don't use those anymore. Let's see. I want to pull these through. That's just a random set of cable, not plugged into anything. That's what that was. Interesting. So I do have to undo these because the SATA cable's tied up in it. Well, we have new SATA cables, so forget it. Forget it. We have new SATA cables. Just need to get the SSD out. Get the power supply out. That's all freed up. We could probably drop this power supply out. I wonder what his thoughts are going to be when he sees his new computer inside his new case with all the new hardware. Hope he's okay with this change. Alright, so there we go. We got our power supply out. That is almost everything. We just need to get the SSDs out. Don't quite remember how I got this in there. So we got one. We just need to get this one out. We've got one, which is a 1 terabyte, and a second that's a 512. And I believe our boot drive was the 512. Try to remember that. Alright, so there, we've got everything out of the case that we need. Now it's time. My luck, he'd be mad. Most people are pretty thankful for free stuff, right? I don't think I've ever used the lower tier A or H motherboards. Yeah. I mean, when you're on a tight budget and people are expecting, you know, hey, can you make a PC for like $300 or $400? You're going to be using those parts, especially if you want to try to keep them on a current platform. Like that one was AM4. Try to get us into a better view here so we can start working on this. A very crushed motherboard. The box got smashed, actually. But it's okay. So we've got new SATA cables. We'll use those. Not that the old ones are bad or anything, but if he's going to sell the system, he can sell the system with the SATA cables and the old system. Maybe make some of his money back, or maybe they'll turn it into something else. Okay, I see another AM4 build. Yeah, we're doing more AM4. We're going AM4 to AM4, but we're going from an A320 motherboard to a B550, which has much better VRMs for the AMD 3D V-Cache on this CPU, which is the Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. Yeah? Doubt more tariffs, more bans? Probably, yeah. Why are they illegal? Well, they got banned from selling in the United States because I believe they were selling to some European places. And they had said, hey, you have to stop selling there. And they said, Deepcool said, nah, we're not going to stop selling there. And then basically they banned them from importing. I don't know the full story behind it. It just sucked, because I had a lot of Deepcool products and a lot of my pre-built options, so I had to go through and remove all those options. And I think there's still some pieces on my website that still say I have Deepcool options. So I do need to figure that out and get that probably cleaned up the rest of the way. You got to dig deep to probably find it, but hey, Gaming with Ahmed, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. What's up? AM4 is a GOAT, yes. It is probably the best bang for your buck right now, is a 5700X 3D on a like B550, 32 gigs of RAM. That'll give you the most performance for your buck. Biggest bang for your buck right now. How is the baby? The baby's doing good. Baby and mama are doing good. We actually just did a bath before the stream. She needed some help, which is why I didn't get started until almost 9 something. We had to start a little later because of that, but no problem. What's up? What's up? So anyway, we've got our board out, so let's go ahead and get our CPU in there. Whoop, we're gonna zoom in, not zoom out. We can get a nice good zoom here, and we're also gonna put a cooler on here as well. So we don't have an M.2 drive. We have all SATA for this build because we took the storage out of its existing and put it into the new. We did, however, have to repurchase the license key, because any motherboard change you do will generally force a reactivation of Windows. Unless you have it tied to your Microsoft account, which most people don't buy Windows that way. The one glorious Ryzen 7 5700X 3D going into the socket here. I'm also going to save the boxes for him and give him the option if he wants to keep the boxes. Because maybe he wants to keep that. I don't know. It'd be less boxes for me to have to deal with. Does that board have a dual M.2? Yes. So if we look down here, we've got an M.2 slot here, M.2 slot here. So this is probably one of my favorite micro ATX B550 boards to use, simply because of cost and the features it offers. It offers the 2 M.2 slots. It offers obviously 4 RAM slots, and then it also has 2 addressable RGB headers, one at the top, one at the bottom. Yeah, one here. Down here at the bottom here. So there's 2 headers for the RGB, and then there's also multiple fan headers. You got one here at the bottom, which I like because a lot of cases I have to put fans on the bottom. Then there's another fan header here, 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 and here. And of course, one of them is the CPU fan header, but lots of options for fans. So this board, for as small as it is, packs a lot of features. It also has the a good amount of rear I/O. So lots of USB options there. It's got your wired Ethernet, your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, your HD audio, etc., and your onboard HDMI and display and VGA if you need it. So lots of options on that board. Let's go ahead and do the RAM. We're going to do 32 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz CL16. I think eventually they will be coming back, but it's going to take some time and some things to be sorted out. I don't know, again, the full story behind it. I'm sure Gamers Nexus already did a video on that, but I do want to know more about it because I've been asked this question multiple times and I haven't had a straight answer because I'm like, okay, it's got something to do with who they were selling to, and then they got banned for doing that. So now they couldn't sell into the US anymore, or at least might even be the whole continent. I don't remember. Why can't, or wait. That's a solid board. What's the name of it? This is the MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi. There's 2 versions of it. There's a VC version similar to this. The VC version offers full-length PCIe slots in addition, but I think it removes one of the M.2 slots. So just keep an eye on that. If you're looking at the 2 different versions, this is my favored version of this board, of the Pro Micro ATX MSI Pro boards. So good budget boards, around $100 for the board. Like, I think this one right now is $109, though a month ago it was $89. So you could get a deal on it. Selling to communist parties, I guess. Yes, that is kind of the story. They're selling to Russia. And this is where, you know, you start seeing eco wars happen. All right, let's go ahead and get a cooler installed on here. And the cooler we have is a Peerless Assassin by Thermalright. So we got the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 SE addressable RGB. So this thing will look badass inside this case. On this board, it's going to look pretty nice. The new case that we have selected as well. And he'll be able to sync his addressable RGB with his software now, using the MSI Center with the MSI Mystic Lite. Probably not going to save this box, because this box is just very basic. Thermalright for not spending $1 million on their box. I'm going to buy like 50 of the PA120 SE. 50 of them. So you can have all running at once, blowing cool air at you. Or do you got that many builds to do? How does the second M.2 slot work on that board? It's probably just Gen 3. I'm pretty sure it's just Gen 3. Not listed, but the first one's probably Gen 4 and the second one's probably Gen 3. Ah! There we go, we've got our brackets installed, so now we're ready to put our massive heat sink on this thing by Thermalright. We also need some thermal paste on there too. Get our extra long screwdriver so we can reach down there without chopping our knuckles off. There we go. Look at our cooler mounted. How does the, hey, what's up? Henri? Is the MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi? Yes, this is the MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi. It's a great board that has plenty of features on it for a micro ATX system. Originally, I thought we were just putting it back in the other case, and then I had a thought afterwards. I'm just giving him a new case. So, give it away, give it away, give it away now. we're going to be putting our fans on here. Forgot how high the G-Skill RAM rides will be. A little offset there, but that's alright. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Not what I wanted, but I hate it when they do this. Like, jeez. You guys see that? These little wire clips, they get stuck. They have these little grippy fingers that never let go of anything. But that's okay. And that is what matters. Hey, what's up? Haran boss? Harun? I need help, bro. I have a motherboard Asus ROG Strix B550 and water cooling Deep Cool LE720. Alright. But the motherboard does not have a connector for the RGB, which comes with the cooling pump. I have the adapter, VDG. Can I connect it? VDG. Anybody here know what the VDG is? Are you talking about the RGB 12 volt? What motherboard do you have? Let's start with that. I know you said B550 ROG Strix, but is that the exact model? I think the cooler you're talking about has an addressable RGB header, which requires a 5 volt 3-pin connection on your motherboard. So do you have anything that is labeled Rainbow or ARGB header? I'll give you a example on this board here in just a moment. And also where they could be placed on the motherboard. Oh. Well, I just gave you a... Hold on. So this right here at the bottom portion of the motherboard, the bottom right hand side, some motherboards will have it on the left hand side, the other side of the board. But this is a J Rainbow 1 connection. This should have the 2 pins here and then a 3rd pin there. And usually that connects to this thing, which would be on your cooler. This is your RGB cable. This would connect to that. And you can only plug it in one way because of the 3 pins and the notch. I don't know 90% of what y'all saying, LOL. I was like that Cam as well before I built my PC. Yeah, I mean we all were. I have that motherboard in Aqua 3. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good. It's a good board, and that's also a good case. The Aqua 3 by Okinus. But I hope that kind of helps your question. Some of those B550 motherboards did not have this header. And the only thing you can do is try to find an adapter, which is actually more like a hub that can convert from 12 volt to 5 volt, but you're not going to have the rainbow effect. It's only going to have single solid colors. You won't be able to run the rainbow connection because you don't have the addressable. And then the other option is to buy your own external controller, which I could show you an example of one of those. But it's basically going to be adjusting the RGB based on a remote that you would have external from the computer that controls a hub that plugs into that connection. They're like 20 bucks on Amazon. If you need me to, I can flip over to my screen and show you guys what, you know, which one to buy, or drop a link here. I'll drop a link real quick. Hold on, guys. I'll drop that link. Just looking this up, guys. Give me 1 second. Trying to find one. Ah. Okay, so the chat wouldn't let me put the link in the chat. Don't know why, but it's probably because of its length. So instead, I put it on the Discord under Deals on Parts, but there is an adapter there in the Discord channel in that link that I just sent. That's the Discord channel, and that'll take you to the Deals on Parts, and there's a link of an addressable RGB controller that you could use to control RGB. Now, if you don't have enough connections to plug into, meaning if they don't daisy chain, like this, for example, this is an example of a daisy chain where we got a female and a male end on this connection, then you'll want to buy a hub as well. The link took you to my own, well, I'm sorry. You'll see a lot of pictures of naked computers on my OnlyFans. I'm not wrong. This is a cheaper B550 motherboard with USB-C header for front panel. That is why I got a yes. Yep, this is a great option because it does have the USB-C. I forgot to call that out actually when I was talking about the features, is that it does have support for USB-C from your front panel as well. And a lot of B550s don't have that. But yeah, that Ron, if you go to the Discord and go to the Deals on Parts, you'll find the link to that right there. Let me know if that's what you think is going to solve the problem, or you could drop a picture actually in the Discord and give me more information on what we're trying to connect. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you spit out your drink. I don't know how long it took you to make the drink, but does that board come with an M.2 standoff for the second slot? Yes. I think it's in the little baggie, wherever that went. Yeah, yes, it does. It's just in the bag. I don't know why I took it off, or it's off. I don't know. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get the case out now. Or, you know, let's really quick plug these in. I think the RGB connections I'm going to send to the hub on this case that's on the back of the case, so we can run everything through the same hub. I think it has the option of controlling it from the case as well, but or sync it up with the software. So I'm just going to run to the back of the case. And I am going to plug the fans into the CPU fan header and zip this up a little bit. Clean. And we'll trim those up and get the case out, drop it in the case. Get the storage and power supply and graphics card in there. And I think we're ready to fire this bad boy up. Won't take long. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Case time. It's a brand new case. A brand new case. By Montech. Figure. I'm not a Montech addict or anything, right? It's only a problem when I accept it as a problem, right? Or identify it as a problem. The best solution for ARGB compatibility is not to have ARGB in your build. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. There's truth to that. I love tiny cases like this. I don't know why. This one's good. So this case is actually, if I were to pick a favorite micro ATX case, is probably on the top of the list. Reasons why? Well, the value. I think it's like 69 bucks right now. You can get it, and usually you can find it for cheaper. Like beginning of the year, they were like 59 bucks. They're even cheaper. But it comes with 4 fans. Comes with an addressable RGB hub on the back. Has all the inputs that you need, except for, I guess it's lacking USB-C on the top. It's got your power button, reset button, USB 3.0, 2.0, and then the audio headers, LED lights that are standard. The top is mesh. I wish these holes were maybe a little bit bigger on the top, but not a big deal. And the front is mesh as well. Let's get a bigger zoom here because we're not looking at things properly. The top is mesh, or the front is mesh, and this panel just simply releases. Very easy to remove and clean. But these 3 fans are actually decent fans. And they're addressable RGB. They're not PWM, they're DC. They're just controlled by power, not by communication from the board. But overall, the features you get in this case and how modern it is worth it. And I think it's one of the better micro ATX cases. Other micro ATX cases around the same value will only come with 1 fan, will lack the addressable RGB hub. Doesn't, in some cases, doesn't even support a 240 millimeter AIO, where this one does. This one has the gap. If you look on the back, this is an easy way to tell if a case has the space or not. But you can check to see if there's a gap between the top of the case and where the IO is. Usually if there's a close to an inch and a half space there, then you have enough space to drop a radiator and 2 fans above the board without it interfering with anything inside on the board. Now that's a good looking case. $69, nice, yes. Yeah, it's a great price. So if you're looking for a micro ATX case that has really good value, with all the features, the only thing I guess is that this is lacking is USB-C, and I would wish Montech would keep this case around, update it by getting rid of the USB 2.0 connection here and convert that to USB-C. That would make this case look further into the future. That's at least just a suggestion. Hey, what's up, Space? Space, what's up? Hello, bro. Can I make you a quick question? Yeah, you can make me a question. Yeah, it'll make it almost perfect, yes. Along with that, you got your standard basement that's actually vented. You can install 2 fans here for additional intake if you needed more, though the bottom of this case is not ventilated except for where the power supply is. So if we flip it over and look at where the power supply is, this is the only place that there's ventilation, and that's for the power supply. So if you do put fans at the bottom here, it's going to be drawing the air from the intake front here. So the 2 fans here as intake, blowing air at your graphics card is really just going to be drawing air from your intake already. And it will have a hard time because that's where all the cables are going to be for your power supply as well. So not the greatest. It's not going to do a huge benefit here. Might add some RGB, you know, cool looking, but the airflow, it's not going to do make a huge difference there. But it is an option, so that's pretty cool. And if I remember correctly, it comes with the hardware to install those fans, meaning the screws. So you could do that. A lot of cases will offer it, but not offer you the screws. So kind of cool as well, right? Maybe they don't. Maybe I lied. They don't. Look at me. Look at me lying. Yeah, they don't have the screws in there. Okay. Well, normally, Montech does. This one apparently does not. Maybe I was thinking of the Sky 2 or something else. Anyway, great case overall. Solid case with modern features, except for the USB-C. Thanks for your time, bro. Oh yeah, let's take a look at your question. I just bought a PC with an i7 3700 and an RTX 4060 and high quality cooler, and Abtree and Corsair RAM. I'm not sure what the Abtree is. Maybe ADATA is what? I don't know what you're trying to say there. For like 1.3 thousand or 1300. Is that a fair price? Yeah, it's a decent price. Really, any 4060 build you're going to look at today is going to be in the around 1000 range, and that would be with like an i5. So it kind of depends on what else is inside the build. But it sounds like they use quality parts if they have Corsair RAM in it. It's at least quality RAM. I don't know what quality cooler it is, but you know what brand the cooler is? You're a Thermaltake fan? I love the cube cases. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Thermaltake is pretty cool. I'm starting to lean towards Thermaltake lately, as far as older models. Yeah, Thermaltake's got some pretty good designs. I like some of their new stuff. So they've definitely gone in the right direction with their new stuff. There's a couple of their cases that are cool looking, but frustrating to use on a daily basis. For example, one of their Tower 300s that has the graphics card mounted vertically on the side, and then the, which looks like vertically, but the motherboard is mounted, you know, funky with the IOs up. And the cooler on the side, I think it's like the Tower V300 or something like that. All the IO is at the top, and in order to access that, you have to take the top fan off, and it's just a really weird design. Like, if I want to plug something into my computer, I want easy access to it, so I don't have to spend 5 minutes sticking around just to plug a USB drive in or something. It's my preference anyway. I just don't like that. The AH200 is the coolest case ever. I don't remember which one that is. Yeah, the Tower 300 and the Tower 600, yeah. They're both cool. They look cool. They're actually not terrible to build in. But just the access to your rear I/O is difficult. I saw it was one of the best, and it's enough for this build, I think. Oh yeah, that's the iCUE. Yeah, that's a very good cooler. So you definitely got some quality parts there. I would say 1.3 is pretty fair for a 13700 and an RTX 4060, because you probably also have a warranty involved there as well if it's a pre-build. Are we going to cover the Montech text with an Empower sticker? We could. They're actually magnets. So I don't like putting stickers on computers. So I did start a while back with my old logo, the Empower, because this was my logo then. I started doing magnets like this just to see if it was cool, and you know, it was cool, but a lot of times there just wasn't a right place to put these unless you were building in a case like this. It was easy because you could just put it on the bottom here, etc. It's show off your brand name. But anyway, I really don't do that anymore. That was from the other build. So the only concern is that the Gigabyte P750 GM 750 WD plus gold power supply is enough. It's not a battery. That's just a power supply. That's what powers the computer when you plug it in. So it takes the electricity from your wall and translates it to electricity for the computer, basically. Converts it. not translates. But anyway, the Gigabyte power supplies are crap. So I would say that's probably the crappiest piece in your computer that you've told me so far. The only reason why is because there's a high failure rate on them. And Gamers Nexus actually did a really good video on that. So if you want to take a look at reviews from the Gigabyte power supply lineup, go take a look at Gamers Nexus videos on YouTube, and they'll explain why they're bad. No worries. I was just making sure you understood. But the Gigabyte power supplies, I don't build with them, and there's a reason for that. They're not good. But it doesn't mean that the PC's not going to work. It's just I wouldn't leave the PC running when you're not present, is all I would say. They are not reliable, no. And they're also known to be a fire hazard. I would not leave that PC running while you are out of the house, running that power supply. That is my advice. That's how concerned I am about the Gigabyte power supplies. I've seen too many of them fail. So anyway, let's get back to this, guys. Let's get the IO shield in, the motherboard in. Anyone ever had a problem with AMD graphics card not displaying and just no signal constantly? Sounds like a bad graphics card, a bad display cable or HDMI cable, or a bad monitor. Or the card is not seated all the way, or the card doesn't have proper power. What card is it, Xylon? You want to get this case? Get that case, the A200, the AH200? Yeah. Have you built in the Cube 500 Cooler Master? It's very versatile. Yes, I have. Long time ago, though. I feel like it was a long time ago. So should I change it? I don't want to get my house on fire. So I would just... Yes, honestly, I would change it. I would go out of the way and change it. Power supplies for that system, you can easily run a 650 watt power supply, and Thermaltake, Seasonic. Seasonic's probably one of the best power supply brands you can buy from. Thermaltake is another great brand. Segetep is another brand, but I don't know if it's available in your area if you're in Spain. But those are some brands that are pretty good. And of course, you've got Corsair and a bunch of other brands out there. But Gigabyte's like on the lowest of lows for my rating. All right. And then we got to make sure we don't have all of our studs. We need more studs. 7900 XTX. Okay. Do you have all the power plugged into it? Because I think that takes 2 or 3 PCIe connections. 8-pin. Usually. Make sure you have all those plugged in, and make sure they're all plugged into the power supply fully. And then make sure your graphics card, the 7900 XTX, is all the way into the PCIe slot. Make sure all those are done. Why such a small SSD? What do you mean? 204. Oh, I picked the Thermaltake Snow X9 case, 500 watt PSU, 240 gig SSD for $40. Huge case, crazy. That's a good deal. That is a good deal. I mean, the SSD, new anyways, like 20 bucks. That's the SSD itself. 500 watt power supply, they're like 20, 25 bucks, depending on what type you're buying. I mean, right there's your money, and then you just got a case out of it as well. Good deal, I'd say. The problem is that I already bought it. Yeah, no worries. No worries. You can always replace a power supply. Doesn't take much to do it either. There's usually your 8-pin connections here at the top corner, and then your 24-pin connection here on the side. And then with your graphics card, you'll have a connection there, which is your 8-pin connection for your graphics card. And then if you have any connections on the back side for power, you might have some for storage, etc. So it's not terrible. Pretty easy. There's just a few connections and 4 screws. If you watch enough of my past live streams, you'll see it all. Repeatedly, over and over again. Yeah, if you think it's not working properly and there's signs of a failing power supply would be my computer just randomly shut off. Or it could actually cause blue screens, or it can cause performance issues. But generally, a failing power supply, first sign is it powers off. That's usually the sign. I'm going to need the long extended screwdriver for this one. My magnet is not magnetizing. Good evening. Welcome to the Build Show, Martin. What you say about Gigabyte? I miss it. A Twitch user over here on the stream and chat is asking, Space over here in chat, he's asking about a Gigabyte power supply that he has in a system that he bought. Fix the motherboard, matches the case colors quite well. Yes. Yep, this color is going to match very nicely. I agree. It's going to look pretty dope when it's done. And I know that's a word for the boomers now. But I'm probably a boomer now, so... Your mid-30s, does that count as a boomer? My personal 4070 Ti Super and my backup 3060 with no problems on the same PC, but the 7900 does not want to display. That tells me the video card's probably the problem, if you did do that. What size power supply do you have, Xylon? Xylon? If you have a 4070 Ti Super, or had it in there, it might be, I'd assume it's at least an 850 watt. That's a beast and expensive card. Hopefully it's under warranty. Yeah, that's a good call. Hopefully it is under warranty if it is a problem. But I'd reach out to the manufacturer and ask them at this point, because it sounds like a bad card. Or if you still have a return window from where you purchased it, I'd venture into that and get a return. Because it sounds like you've done all your due diligence. You even swapped out with another card to verify. So that tells me the rest of the system is functional. And the problem is with the card. So there's probably something wrong with that card. In case that I cannot give the battery back, is it worth investing for a new battery, power supply, and getting this thrown to the paper bin? It might be. Just humor me and go look at Gamers Nexus video on Gigabyte power supplies. Go take a look at that, and that'll weigh your decision. That'll help you decide. And thanks for the follow, also. And Jeff over on Facebook, thanks for the like, and same with Adam. And Timothy for the follow over on Facebook. I got my first built idea from Paul's Hardware. Ever watched him? Yes. Of course I've watched Paul's Hardware. Paul's Hardware. He's probably one of the most sarcastic guys I like to watch. Especially his hardware news updates. They're usually pretty good. I still follow them. Those are the types of things that I do want to start doing on the channel, by the way, guys. We just haven't gotten there yet. I've got a video already set, ready to go for editing. So it will be out soon. Hopefully before the news is old. That's the other problem. I'm so scared to deliver, like, hardware news or talk about hardware and be wrong about it. You know? Then you gotta remember, especially if people follow you and they're expecting you to have accurate information. So I always do my due diligence. And it takes me some time to do that to make sure it's all correct. I don't want to, like, listen to one person on YouTube and assume it's right wherever I'm getting the information from. You can't believe everything. So I always try to make sure I do my due diligence and make sure it's right and accurate. There we go. Got our motherboard installed, our cables routed to the back. Now we're ready to do our I/O front panel stuff. Get that done. How do they sell house bombs? Gigabyte has no way. Yeah, Gigabyte didn't do a good job on the power supply. And now they're basically just giving them away. Like, for example, they have deals on Newegg, which is a website here in the US anyway. I don't know if it's available in Europe over there. But they have deals on Newegg where they give you basically a free power supply. And guess what power supply it is? A Gigabyte power supply for purchasing a motherboard, CPU combination, etc. Kind of funny. At the same time, it's not. I'm gonna undo this because I need a little bit of slack. Actually, no, we don't. We can just run it up here. Forgot we had a header up here for the fans. Do that. Alright, so now that we've routed all our cables in the right places, we can flip this over. This guy tried to escape. Back in there. And then we got to get all our front panel connectors in. April Fool's Day, you should build a PC to build a Mac on stream. I've dealt with Mac before, and I really, really, really don't want to deal with Mac ever again. Honestly. my RGB connection go? Let's see. I would take it to the test. Test my fans. The PC has gantry, so maybe I can use the battery, and when it fails, just apply it. Not sure what gantry is. Please check a Discord at bar chat. I can look at that. Hold on. It's a pre-built I'm working on for someone. So I'm not sure if it's under warranty. Oh shit. Crap. Xylon, if you're working on a pre-build for somebody, did they add this card, or is it a card that came with the PC? I'm assuming it probably came with the PC. Warranty, sorry. Yeah, if it has a warranty, you could just send it back. Yeah. I would actually double check that with whoever you purchased it from. Hey, I've been thinking... Hey, what's up? Cardinal? Welcome to the Build Show. Hey, I've been thinking of building my first PC gaming, but I'm a bit hesitant about it. Nice. What are the chances of the motherboard frying out of absolutely nowhere, and how hard is it to install a CPU? So you can actually watch several of my videos, my live videos, where I'm installing a CPU. I get a nice zoom in on it, and you can see me putting the CPU into the socket. It's not very difficult. What you don't want to do, though, especially on some of these on the newer boards, or Intel in general, and some of the newer AMDs, is you don't want to bend the pins. And even on some of the older stuff too, you still don't want to bend the pins, but it's a little harder to do so. And the pins are located on all the newer boards for both AMD and Intel, whether it's a B650, X670, or some of the newer Intel boards, any of the Intel boards. It's all LGA, so the pins are on the board. And those pins are very, very, very sensitive. So it's very, very important to be precise and gentle when you're putting that CPU into the socket. So that is the most important, probably tough situation that I could say, a sensitive situation. So as long as you line up the CPU correctly and put it in correctly, you're not gonna have a problem putting it together. The rest of it is pretty hard to damage. And there are chances that a board is bad out of the box, so that can happen. That's happened to me several times. Out of all the PCs that I built, it happens. So, and that we call that DOA, dead on arrival, which we just send it back and get a replacement, a new one. Martin, good evening. What CPU is in that? This is a Ryzen 7 5700X 3D on a B550M Pro, 32 gigs of DDR4 3200 CL16 G-Skill Ripjaws, and that's a thermal rate cooler in a Montech Air 100 case, micro ATX case. Sorry if I missed anything else above that. Oh, Xylon actually had another note there. So it's a iBuyPower pre-built that essentially imploded on itself and somehow detected Windows, and I had to reinstall it. And since I've reinstalled the graphics 7900 and it wanted to run, I've used my personal 4070 Ti, my backup 3060 with no problems, in the same PC, but the 7900 just doesn't want to display. Maybe try a BIOS update. Can you do a BIOS update on that board? I know with iBuyPower, sometimes you have to go to their website to get the actual BIOS, because some motherboard manufacturers build specific boards for iBuyPower and CyberPower. So you might have to go to their website, select the pre-build model, and then go to downloads and select the BIOS. Or the manufacturer, the motherboard manufacturer might have it listed. I don't know. But I know that's a thing. But maybe try doing a BIOS update, or reset the BIOS and see if that helps. I don't know. I'm shooting in the dark here. But it sounds like the system sounds like it's working with the other cards, so Something's not right with that card. Did you try putting the 7900 in your case? Or, you know what? Hold on, hold up, hold up, hold on, stop, everybody stop. Thought, we just had a thought. What if the power supply is actually bad in the pre-build, causing the 7900 to fail over time? Maybe? So, I'd be hesitant to... definitely don't mix your parts with that computer, especially if you don't want to have to replace them if that power supply is bad. But what I would do, maybe do another. Do you have another power supply you could test with, just to confirm? You don't even have to plug the whole thing in. You can plug both of them in. I don't know if you have one of these thingamaboppers or not. They have these little jumpers that you could use, or you could just use an actual jumper to jump the pins. You can look it up on YouTube. But if you have a second power supply, you can keep the power supply existing inside the CyberPower PC, plug the card in, let the existing power supply power everything else but the graphics card, have the separate power supply external plugged into the graphics card, and then plug that in, turn it on with the jumper already on, and then turn on the computer and see if it displays. And that will tell us that the power supply is not working for the graphics card, or the graphics card's not working with that power supply, etc. That's one thing I would try. Or you could just completely swap out the power supply. But troubleshooting on a workbench, kind of a quick thing you could try. Alright, yeah, let me check that. Let me check the Discord really quick. Okay, so we should probably jump on Discord and probably talk about this a little bit more, just to kind of get a fix on this Haran boss. But you do have an addressable RGB header, which is listed as number 10 on your motherboard manual. Number 10 is your addressable RGB header. I don't recall seeing the right connection from the cooler. Was that the connection that you were showing me? That the female end goes to the male header on number 10 on your motherboard, and that will sync that up. And then you'll use the ASUS Armory crate to control the RGB. Does that make sense? So the female 3-pin connection with the space in between it, the 3 pins with a space in between it, goes to number 10 on your motherboard. If you look at the manual, you'll know where number 10 is. Yep, checking it. Checked it. The comments were... yeah, I know. Can I 4060 handle a 65-inch TV? Yes. I don't see why I wouldn't. But if you need a 750 watt, you could use 10 euros looking for that one. Yeah, that's normal price. 140 euros is a good price for a power supply. Yeah, sounds about right. I'm USD here, so euros. I don't know. Don't know what that would be in euros. I'm just assuming. The guy said he didn't pay for a warranty. Most pre-build companies do offer a warranty. Like every single build I build comes with a 2-year warranty, regardless if you're paying for it or not. If you're paying for me for the 2-year warranty that already comes with it, that's cool. I'll take that as a tip. But it's but the 2-year warranty always comes with every single PC I build. So most pre-build companies, or system integrators, will include a warranty with the build. So depending on how old it is, If it's under a year, it's probably still under warranty with some sort. Gotcha. Referring to Paul's video. Gotcha. Yeah, I figured fitting the CPU onto the socket was the most scary part. Probably gonna get someone to help me out with that. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Just, you don't want to do it with shaky, sweaty hands. You want to do it with dry, calm hands, steady. Just drop the CPU into the socket. Gently. Settle the CPU into the socket. You can go back and look at a couple of my videos and see them in my live content. Damn, 2-year warranty guarantee. That's insane. Yes, I do offer 2 years on my builds. And that is standard. There's some budget builds that I only offer a year, and that's because I'm already not making money on the build as it is, because it's a cheap entry option. But you know, I try. There's a lot of hesitation when I press the power button when it turns on. When you say there's a lot of hesitation when you push the power button, it doesn't want to turn on right away. Sounds like a power supply problem, honestly. Maybe there's just not enough power, because pre-build companies, especially iBuyPower or CyberPower, really like to cut corners on the power supply. So I'm telling you, try different power supply and see if that changes things. I mean, at least then, you know, you're buying life back into the system, and it's what? For a 7900, you probably want at least 850 watt. A decent 850 watt's gonna be like 100, 140 bucks. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Ballpark, depending on where you buy it from. But that'll be, you know, a power supply that'll bring the PC back to life. So I would try a new power supply for you, Xylon. That's what I would do next. Just to do your due diligence even further. Yeah, I was nervous when I built my first PC a long time ago, too. So, proper to be nervous. He put a ton of makeup on a guy in the comments. Said, no, my proudest fap. I thought I was gonna die. Does not, that sounds like Paul, yes. Yeah, he's a funny dude. Alright guys, let's get back to this. Let's get the SSDs installed, get our SATA cables installed, add our SATA cables before we put the graphics card in, unlike some other times that I've built. Because I always forget there's SATA still. Oh yeah, we need SATA cables. I build with so many M.2 drive systems now that I forget sometimes when we're doing SATA, put these cables in. Oops. I'm going to steal one of these cables back from the old system because it's got the flat connection. Plug in. If I lived in the US, I don't know how to assemble PCs. I assure you that I'd buy it from you. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, it's hard to sell to anybody that's out of the country, even in Canada, when they're close, simply because of the taxes involved. Some of it's stupid expensive. That one fit like a charm. Interesting. All right, there we go. We got our SATA cables plugged in. I'm going to do one more SATA, just in case. Go. Let's get our storage installed. We got one here, one here. Lots of fun cables here too. And I appreciate that, by the way. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Army Vet? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Evening? Just got back from town. Nice. Hope you had a nice evening out. Bro, correct me if I'm wrong, but same people say that the i7-3700 is slightly better than the i7-4700. Is that a real fact? I'd say they're pretty close. Like, there's some things that the 4700 or the 14700 does better than the 13700. And the 13700 does a little bit better than the 14700. So, kind of like trades blows. Doesn't make any sense because it's one generation. Yeah, but it's in the same... Intel didn't really do a good job with the 14th gen. That's the truth behind it. So, Ron, I'm waiting. Sorry for insisting. It's 4:40 a.m. I did respond here. You want me to respond? Ron, boss? I responded here. I'm gonna go respond in the chat form. Okay, we're back. Hans, I hope that answers your question. I replied in the Discord for you, sir. Hey, what's up, Cardinal? Ant-Man, here's hoping I don't mess it up. You won't mess it up, man. Just watch some videos. Keep following here. Watch some of these live streams. You'll figure it out. It's easy. Martin, are power supply cables interchangeable if they are, if they're modular? Yes. But you only want the power supply cables that came with the power supply, or the cables that you purchased from like Cable Mod specifically for that power supply. The only other thing you could do is like power supply cable extensions, etc. If I ordered from you, would you make a video of the build? Yes, Camshaft. I build all of our PCs on live on here. I sent all my photos. I wrote what I want to do. Just tell me what I can do or not. I'm afraid. Yes, I responded in the Discord for you. So go take a look at the screenshot or the thing that I pointed out for you. But that header, which is number 10 on your motherboard manual, is your addressable RGB header, which is where your cooler will plug into for RGB lights. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I know. $2 I know. Yeah, 14th generation sucked from Intel. Been taking the poop of a lifetime. No, Pat. I was over there responding in Discord for somebody because they sent me screenshots of something they're working on. And they're waiting for a response. Kernel PC building is tedious, but not difficult. CPU is probably the easiest part of the build, in my opinion. I agree. It's not difficult. Just got to be careful. That's all. It's sensitive. Don't bend the pins. That's the only thing you don't want to do. I told him no Taco Bell before going live. I didn't eat Taco Bell. I ate pizza tonight. I had pizza. Thank you. You're the best. You're welcome. Hope that gets you through it. All right. Going back to where we were here. I don't even remember where I was. I think we were going to do the storage, right? I think that's what we were doing. Dealing with some of these cables and getting to the storage. Go. I'm just kind of zipping these up a little bit here and there. I think this cage can come out. We can put a 2.5 inch here, 2.5 inch here, and I'll save that for reserves for later. Oh gosh. I just want to play Farming Simulator 25 on stream. Yeah, you could do that with that. We could do that. I think the build that you were picking out on the website, we could definitely do that. Just gonna say, I hope I plugged it in the right way. What is the deal? Can't even use this cable. Hold on. We got a busted pin on this cable. Old build. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Nice. Get a zip tie around all that. Just too big with those SATA cables in there. I'm just trying to focus on getting this done, guys. We're getting late. I kind of started late, but who's counting? Let me take a second mortgage out on my house and I'll order it. Yeah, no, I hear you. Not cheap, man. My first build would have probably burnt my house down if it wasn't for Ben holding my hand. Nah, I think you would have been fine. You would have figured it out. You're a smart guy. I just made recommendations on the way, that's all I did. Oop. Oh boy. don't want that cable to drop in the abyss. Alright, so we've got our storage installed, we've got our front panel, our motherboard installed, so next we can drop a power supply in here. Thank goodness. Yes, it is the pre-existing power supply from the other system that we are going to reuse. Holy smokes, tangled. Yep. Focus mode again. Alright. My fingers in this hot hole. Doesn't help that it's pitch black down there. Can't see what I'm doing. Kind of feeling around. Go. The last thing that's remaining, which we already have our cable routed for, is our graphics card. Right? Wish I would have punched these out before. Nice. Fix that focus. Have you ever had problems with those game power supplies. No, I have not. I mean, I've had out of a sample of probably a couple hundred that I've used now. A couple of them go bad, but I mean, I've had that go with EVGA, same experience. I've had the same experience with Sagittep. And honestly, the only power supply company that I've never had a power supply fail is Seasonic, except for the one where Roach climbed up inside the power supply and fried itself in the power supply, which fried the power supply and a bunch of other shit in the PC, in a customer's PC. It was gross too, super gross, because that wasn't the only place roaches were inside the power supply. When they brought it back to me. Literally had to take the computer outside and shake the bugs out of it. It's disgusting. Not gonna say anybody's name involved with that. Let's see here. Said some stuff about said some stuff above about the GPU. Yes, I did. I do that same stuff, Cam. So Xylan, if you are testing that power supply, join the Discord. Let me know how that goes, because I always like to hear how the end of a story goes, especially a problem that I'm starting to get invested in. Have you ever had LMAO? Holy shit! Yeah. It was disgusting. The bugs. What makes power supplies, their ratings, 80 plus bronze, etc.? It is their efficiency. Is really what truly, and then the bronze, gold, etc. is kind of just how much better the efficiency, the better the metal, quote unquote, bronze, gold, platinum, the better the efficiency the power supply is. So meaning your electric bill will technically be less with a platinum versus a bronze. Your bronze or your electric bill will be higher. A platinum power supply will make your electric bill less, but it's really small. It would take a year probably to cover the difference of the cost between the two, and you might even be upgrading your power supply by then anyway. So it just depends. Usually I try to target gold efficiency as a minimum, as basically a baseline, but there are some PCs that I build with bronze, and it's simply because of the budget that's allotted for the PC. And there's nothing wrong with using a bronze. It just means your electric bill might be a little bit higher running a bronze power supply versus a platinum. So, all right, let's drop this graphics card in there, since I think we're caught up on chat. I think. If I missed something, I'm sorry. First, let's wipe this card down. This card's got a little bit of dust on it. Not much. Not much at all. Actually, it's very clean. A little bit of settled dust on the back plate there. The fans actually look really clean for running almost a year. They've got some good air filtration inside that house of theirs. What I would say. Most of the time those blades are covered in dust. And I will have a video up here soon showing you how to clean a PC specifically. I'm going to be using my PC that I let really go bad. Really bad. So you guys can make fun of my PC and its current status when I make that video. But it's basically how to clean your PC and take it from looking like absolute garbage to making it look like new again. Takes a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease and efforts, but you could do it safely without damaging anything. There we go. Look at that. That is a much better looking PC compared to where it was when it first came in. You guys remember what it looked like at the beginning of the video? The transformation is overwhelming. Alright, let's get the back panel on. Maybe one or two zip ties here. And we're good to go. fire this thing up. I'm gonna clean up some of this hardware real quick too. Get it out of the way so I don't lose it. All right, let's plug it in. Who thinks this thing's gonna post the first time? Not sure if it was dust or the PSU itself burning. Whoa, what? Said some stuff above about the GPU. I do that same stuff. The power supply brand is called High Power, and I'm thinking about now when I turn it out. Yeah, High Power. Hold on. So one of these? One of these guys? Because I've got usually like 4 of them sitting here ready to go in the trash can. Yeah, throw that thing out and buy another power supply, dude. This thing's a piece of crap also. I replace these all the time on CyberPower and iBuyPower when they come through here. One of those. And no, you're not clipping that, Tat. Get out of here. Yep. Yeah, those power supplies are crap. All right, let's get the side view. All right, who's ready to see this thing fired up? For the very first time. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Hit it. And a 3. And a 2. Easy first post. Hey, what's up, Geesh? Hello there. Hello there. Trying to do my best, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there. All right, here we go. Hit it. Yeah. Direct to the trash. Yes. Pull it out, put it in the trash. That's what I do. The high power supply from iBuyPower. Yes. I pull them out, put them in the trash. That's where they belong. Let there be light. But do we have a post? We don't have a post yet. Oop, up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Empower Gaming Show, this computer has life. Still nothing on the screen, but it's doing something. Come on. Do something. What makes a PSU trash? The quality of the hardware inside the PSU is what makes it trash, which also makes it cheap to make, which makes it make the system integrator save a few bucks to make more money. But they charge you the same amount as if it was a Seasonic power supply, which is absolutely stupid. I hate those power supplies. They burn out all the time, and they do some really weird stuff like that. Funny you say that, Xylon, because that specific power supply I just showed you was with a RX 4070 system, and the user kept getting random crashes in game. Replace the power supply, all the problems went away. Funny, huh? But this thing is did post. It finally post. I buy power supplies that go boom. More like it. Yeah. Montech just makes the best cases. Yeah, this case is pretty dope. I mean, look at this. Look at that. There you go. Nice side profile view with a little bit of the front action going. Oops. Hold on something. Yeah, it's a clean build. I like it. Anyway, this was a PC that originally was purchased, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, and I built it for them. And it was a tight budget, and I think it was around Christmas time. And it was for one of his kids. And his kid, his name keeps slipping my mind right now, and I don't know why. I know his name, but he ended up going and working because he's growing up, getting to be becoming a young adult. He's working now, and he made his own money this year, and he wanted to invest in upgrades in his PC. So I recommended a new motherboard, new CPU, new RAM, to get him up on up to speed with the motherboard, because the motherboard we started on was an A320, and it's not really going to do much with a newer CPU. So we went and did those upgrades, got him to a 5700X 3D B550, 32 gigs of RAM, and he also upgraded the graphics card last year to a 3060. So now this is a really solid system for 1080p gaming. He's got plenty of storage. He's got a 1 terabyte and a 512 SATA. He could add an M.2, two M.2s to this system now. And then I threw in the case for him because I know he worked hard for his money to invest in this, and I just wanted him to really see the upgrade and feel it. That was important for me to make it impactful for him, and they've been just awesome customers for a long time, so I just want to make sure we take care of them. So, can you have each fan do different colors? No, unfortunately. The only way we'd be able to do that is if we had a different type of controller in here. Maybe we could do that. So it's not like Corsair. This is much cheaper RGB, but we can control as a uniform. So right now I'm just using the hardware controller because I don't have MSI Center installed on the PC yet. But I could, just use the controller, control the fans. But if we had Lian Li fans, which are way more expensive, they're like $40 a fan, or if we had Corsair fans, which are again are like $30 to $40 a fan, you would be able to adjust the fan colors for each individual fan, and that's through the software that comes with the fans as well. Such a great guy. I know, I try sometimes. Does the baby wake up random times through the night, or does she sleep straight through? No, the baby is newborn, so pretty much we're feeding her every 3 hours, even through the night. So about every 3 hours is when, you know, is our window. 3 hours of sleep, wake up, 3 hours of sleep, wake up, 3 hours, you know, that's our night right now. Yeah, I think in about a month or so, they start sleeping a little longer between feedings. But you got to keep them hydrated and fed. But she's a good sleeper so far, other than when she's got an upset stomach because everything is new and running for the first time. So she's doing pretty good though. Doing good. Reminds me of the Corsair 4000D. Yeah, it's very similar to that. Very similar. Clean gaming machine. Thank you, Geesh, over on the Twitch. That RGB is bright. Yes. It has a little bit of tint on the glass, so it'll help. It'll help. Show that rainbow. Nah. No, they don't sleep all day. Nope. Nope. You definitely have to. You have to feed them every 2 to 3 hours, depending on the baby itself. Every baby's different. So. 850 high power. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I would just try a different power supply and see if it fires up that graphics card. That's probably what the problem is. I mean, the 7900 XTX is a power hungry card. So not that it should require much power to fire up, but there could be something wrong with the rail, the 12 volt rail for PCIe connection on that power supply. And I would almost put money on it that if you go ahead and try it with a different power supply, that card's going to fire up. So that's why I tell people not to buy iBuyProblems. Because iBuyPower is actually called iBuyProblems. I just found someone selling 50 bucks. Gen D41 with glass and no screen. I don't need it, but should I go for it? I'm tempted. Local deal? I don't know, man. A D41 with glass. Oh, that's the case. That's the case. I mean, it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. That's a case, right? I recognize the brand name. I'm not familiar with their cases. I've not built with them because they're typically more expensive here in the US. But here we go, guys. We got it done. The build is built and upgraded. Now I just got to do the software side of things, which is all the chipset drivers and all that, because we're going from an A320 to a B550. And then we also have to reactivate Windows. I want to make sure all his drivers, the rest of his drivers, are updated as well on here since it's here, and then do a BIOS update as well. Yeah, sorry, the case. Yeah, no worries. I recognized it. I just haven't built with them before, just because of the price. You know, their price point is similar to Lian Li, so if I'm going to build, I would just go with Lian Li. How do I join the Discord? Good question. Let's see if I have it here. Give me 1 second, I'll drop the link. There is the link, sir. You're welcome to join and ask any questions anytime. There's a lot of really smart people in the Discord that are happy to help, including myself. And then we also play games on the Discord as well. So if you see us, come on in, play. This build is really cool. I actually enjoy more of the small builds like this one. Looks so cool to me. Thank you. I've really enjoyed the stream, bud. I've never liked watching live streams, but this is cool. Plus, it helps that I know you. Yeah, it kind of helps a little bit. So, all right, guys. I appreciate everybody that came in and hung out with me while I built this. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night because we do have some stuff that we got to do tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to get into bed early, maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll jump on and play some PUBG later for a little bit, just to wind down. But I'm going to finish this system up and then have it ready for pickup for Monday. And yeah, we should be good to go. How about that? I do have some more builds that I got to do back here. I've got inventory builds like crazy. I've got a few. So we can stream that next because I don't have another customer build here and ready for the next stream. So we'll probably just do an inventory build somewhere around like Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, another stream. I got church as well. So we'll stream that we'll stream again probably Tuesday night. That's probably what we'll do. But thank you everybody again. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one Tuesday night. And happy building. Thanks, guys.